welcome back to my channel. It's me, Gabby. We're watching Storytime Animated, episode 1, Murder Mystery. Have you guys ever gone to a haunted mansion before? This video describes the perfect murder.
We followed Michael up the pathway to the front door. Michael tried to open the door, but it was locked.
Maybe there's another entrance around the back.
I looked at Layla. Her face was white as a sheet, and she was pointing to the floor. When I realized what she had seen, I started screaming too. Red liquid that looked exactly like blood was seeping through the crack in the door. I turned to Michael, but he was freaking out.
Let's get out of here!
But before I go on any further, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of our creepy, mysterious, and awesome stories.
Let's get out of here!
But hold up. I need to start from the beginning, where it all began. As I stepped down from the train and onto the platform, I stopped for a moment and looked around me. The familiar sights, sounds, and smells of my hometown hit me like a hammer. I'd really missed this place. I had spent the last 5 years working in Spain. It had been a fantastic experience, one I'd never forget. But now it was time to come home. I missed my friends and my family too much to stay away any longer.
Not gonna lie with you guys, I empathize that so hard. I recently just moved far away from all of my friends and family, and I'm so homesick and melancholy. Side note, doesn't this character give you Cora and Winry vibes? Like if both of them had half-sister, it would be this character. She's so cute.
I couldn't wait to meet up with my friends Jack, Hannah, and Layla. We had so much to catch up on. I walked out of the train station and looked around for my dad. He was nowhere to be seen. Don't tell me he's forgotten to come and pick me up. But then I heard his voice shouting for me. Sally, Sally, over here. I looked around and saw my dad waving madly at me from the other side of the car park. Mom was with him, and between them, they were holding up a sign saying, "Welcome home," in big letters. I ran over and gave them a hug. I missed you guys so much. I'm so happy to be home. We're happy you're home too. Come on, let's get back and you can tell us all about your travels. On the way home, I told my parents all about my life in Spain. The food was amazing and the beaches. The water, crystal clear. I swam with dolphins and went snorkeling. It sounds fantastic, said Dad.
That's a life.
I'm surprised you wanted to come home. It was a fabulous experience, but it's time to come back. There was one other reason that I really wanted to come home. But I didn't tell my parents. You see, I had always had a secret crush on Jack. When I was in Spain, I started to think about him more and more. What if he was the love of my life? What if we were meant to be together, but I never gave it a chance? I decided that I was going to lay my cards out on the table. I was going to tell Jack how I felt, and hopefully he would feel the same way about me.
Okay, sis, I like that. Honestly, we need to normalize girls shooting their shot, right? All I'm saying is that guys can try, girls can try, anyone can try to go for the person they like. Give it a shot. I am all for this.
Once I had unpacked all my things, I called Hannah. I was closest to Hannah than anyone else. I'm back.
Sally, it's so good to hear your voice. When can we meet
Bestie
up?
time.
How about tomorrow? I'm a bit tired from traveling now, but I'm sure after a good night's sleep, I'll be fine.
Okay, let's meet at the cafe at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Tell Jack and Layla to come too.
I will. See you tomorrow.
I was the first to arrive at the cafe. I asked the waitress for a table for 4 and waited for the others to arrive. I'd only been there a couple of minutes when I saw Hannah and Jack walking in together. I was just about to wave to them when something struck me. They were holding hands.
I mean, what do you mean that they were holding hands? Did she not just clarify that those two people were two of her best friends? Oh my god.
Hannah spotted me at first and ran over and gave me a hug. I turned to look at Jack. He was even more handsome than I remembered, and my stomach lurched.
Hi, Sally. You look great. The Spanish life obviously suits you.
Yes, you're right, darling. Sally looks amazing. You're so tanned.
Wait a minute. Has she just called Jack darling?
Oh,
I must have looked a bit confused because Hannah looked at me and said,
Oh, of course, you don't know, do you? Jack and I are dating. Actually, we've been together for almost a year now.
What? Oh my god. Well, that was unexpected. That poor girl. If it's not meant to be, I guess it's just not meant to be. Gotta have high spirits about things like this, right?
That's great. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. We're really happy.
I didn't know what else to say. I felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest. My best friend was dating my crush. How could this have happened? Luckily, Layla walked in at that moment.
Sally, we've missed you so much. It's so good to have you back.
Thanks. It's good to be home. I've missed you all. I'm not really sure how I managed to get through the rest of the afternoon. I tried to put on a brave face, but inside my heart was breaking. I managed to keep it all inside, but when I got home, I couldn't contain it any longer. I ran up to my room and burst into tears. Of all the people for Jack to start dating? I lay in my bed and sobbed my heart out. Why did this have to happen to me? The next time I met up with Hannah, Jack, and Layla, I couldn't help but feel jealous. It wasn't fair. I had liked Jack for such a long time. I felt sure that if Hannah wasn't around, he would date me. We were going to the movies, just the four of us. Hannah and I waited in line to buy the tickets, whilst Jack and Layla went to get some popcorn and drinks for us.
Sally, I still can't get over how brown you are. Your skin looks amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess I do look good. Better than being a sickly pale color like you. Hannah looked at me in shock. I could see the hurt in her eyes.
Sally, that was a bit of a mean thing to say.
Well, it's true. You look so pasty.
Sis, talk about butt hurt. Listen, just because you don't get the guy you want doesn't mean you gotta go bash on your homegirl. I'm sure she didn't know you liked him, right? And she didn't do anything to hurt you on purpose, right? So stop being a petty little brat. Eh? Like, yeah, I look great. Look at all this sun that I got. I'm so tan. And you're just so pasty white or whatever. Ew, we don't like those attitudes.
Hannah didn't speak to me after that. Well, I didn't care. It wasn't my fault if she couldn't handle the truth. When we went to take our seats, I made sure that I sat next to Jack. And as we sat watching the movie, I began daydreaming that he would put his arm around me. But of course, he didn't. Because Hannah was there to spoil everything. I would just have to get him on my own sometime. If Hannah was out of the way, he would surely realize that it was me that he liked.
What do you mean if she wasn't there and you're just gonna have to wait to have him all alone to yourself? No, you cannot act like that. If you snooze, you lose.
The following week, I was sitting at home watching TV when my phone rang. I picked it up and saw that it was Jack calling. Hi, Jack. What are you up to?
Hi, Sally. I was just calling to invite you over to my house tomorrow for a barbecue.
My heart skipped a beat. Finally, I would have a chance to talk to him alone. That'd be great. Who else is coming?
Oh, just Layla and Hannah, of course.
My heart dropped. Oh, sorry.
Duh.
I can't make it. I just remembered I've got plans. There was no way I was spending my time watching those two cozying up together. I don't know if Jack realized I'd changed my mind when I knew Hannah was going to be there. If he did, he didn't say anything.
Oh, that's a shame, Sally. Maybe another time.
I tried to avoid Hannah and Jack as much as possible, but we lived in a small town and it was virtually impossible not to bump into them. When I did see them together, I tried to keep my feelings hidden, but eventually I couldn't take it any longer. We were at a party, and they were cuddling up together, being all lovey-dovey. I was sitting with Layla when I suddenly burst out crying. Layla? I can't believe it!
What's wrong? Why are you crying?
It's Hannah and Jack.
What about them?
I told Layla all about my secret crush on Jack. I've liked him for such a long time.
She's so
And finally,
annoying.
when I pluck up the courage to tell him, I find out he's dating my best friend.
Oh,
Layla put her
boo.
arms around me and gave me a hug.
Oh, Sally. I don't know what to say to make it better, but I promise I'm going to take your mind off Jack. We're going to do lots of fun stuff together. If you keep busy, then I'm sure you'll soon forget about him.
I smiled at Layla. You're a good friend. I don't know what I'd do
Yeah.
without you.
Honestly, that is a good friend. At least she's trying to be the friend that constructively, leads her toward the path of getting over this crush that she has, which is good long term. You can get over it now. We all need more friends like this.
Listen, I've got an idea. You love horror stuff, don't you?
I nodded. It was true. Ever since I was a kid, I had been obsessed with everything horror, from horror movies to spooky places, everything.
Well, I know about this
Okay.
haunted house. Why don't we go and check it out tomorrow?
What do you mean, haunted? What have you heard about it?
Oh, lots of people have said they've seen weird stuff there. People have gone missing. There are even rumors about an old man dying there, and his body was never found.
It sounded like it could be fun, and I definitely needed something to take my mind off Hannah and Jack. So
yeah,
I
I
agreed
mean-
to go with Layla. When we got to the
Wow.
house, it didn't look any different to the other houses around it. In fact, you would describe it as pretty ordinary. It was on a tree-lined street. Every house had a white picket fence at the front and flowers growing in the garden. Are you sure this is the right place? It doesn't look very haunted.
It's definitely this house. I've heard so
Oh.
many people talking about it.
Rule number 1 about Gabby. Gabby doesn't do scary or horror or thriller. I don't like it. But I'm not gonna lie to you. It might be a great antidote to get your mind off a crush who has unrequited love. I mean, honestly, scare the heck out of me. I'm not thinking about anything but saving my life. Crush, gone. Life, save it, run. Just run. And that is the only concern that I would have. It's a good plan, good strategy. I see what you guys are doing there. And I actually find it creepier that the house doesn't look creepy. Sometimes it be the unexpected ones, you know what I mean?
Are you two looking for the haunted house too?
Said a deep voice behind us. I turned around and saw a tall, dark-haired boy standing there. Yes. Have we got the right place?
Yes, this is it. I've been standing here trying to decide whether I'm brave enough to go in on my own.
I looked at his sparkling eyes. I couldn't tell if he was serious or just joking around. You can come in with us if you want.
Thanks, that would be great. I'm Michael, by the way.
I'm Sally, and this is Layla. Michael smiled at me. He was actually really cute, in an obvious kind of way.
Well, that was quick. Looks like she's completely over him now. Because some tall, dark, and handsome man came up to her and was like, hey, you guys into haunted mansions? And honestly, like, she's tan, he's tan. I'm shipping them.
Come on then, girls. It's now or never.
We followed Michael up the pathway to the front door. Michael tried to open the door, but it was locked.
Maybe there's another entrance around the back.
I looked at Layla. Her face was white as a sheet, and she was pointing to the floor. When I realized what she had seen, I started screaming too.
is it?
Red
What
liquid
is
that
it?
looked exactly like blood was seeping through the crack in the door. I turned to Michael, but he was freaking out.
Let's get out of here!
The three of us ran down the street as fast as we could,
Where are we going?
asked Michael. Come with us. We're gonna tell our friends what we saw. We went straight to Hannah's house. When she opened up the door, she took one look at our faces and told us to come in.
Did you go to the haunted house? What happened?
We told Hannah about the blood coming out of the door.
Oh my god. No wonder you all look so scared. Jack's in the lounge. You go through there and I'll make you all a cup of tea.
Blood seeping through the door. That's creepy. I would have run too. So they run back to their friend's house, but they're not calling 911. I don't know. Am I just weird for this? Like, my first reaction always is to dial 911. Call the emergency. You see something that looks like blood seeping out of your door and you're running to your friend? I getcha. You may not know what to do in that moment, but I'm almost positive the authorities is it, okay? But sure, run to the friend. Leave the person bleeding at the door, in trouble.
We went through to the lounge, but we didn't get a chance to tell Jack what had happened. As soon as he saw Michael, he jumped up and started yelling.
What do you think you're doing here? Get out of my sight. Go on, get out of here.
Layla and I looked at Jack in shock. We had no idea what had gotten into him. He was usually such a calm and placid kind of guy. What's going on, Jack?
I'll tell you what's going on. He's a liar, and I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Do you two know each other?
Yes, unfortunately, I do know him. He used to be my best friend. Well, I thought he was until he cheated with my ex-girlfriend.
You're the liar. You two weren't even dating when I took her out.
With that, Jack lunged at Michael. The two of them started punching each other
Oh.
with blows to the head and body. Stop it, you two, stop it! Hannah came running in when she heard the commotion.
Jack, what are you doing?
Hannah pulled Jack away from Michael. Jack just attacked Michael for no reason.
I'm sure Jack wouldn't do that.
Well, you weren't here. We saw everything, didn't we, Layla? Layla looked at Hannah and I.
I'm not really sure what went on. I don't really want to take sides.
Hannah, I'm telling you the truth. Michael did nothing wrong. Jack just pounced on him.
I think you'd better go, Sally, and take your new friend with you.
I looked at Hannah and Jack. Okay, fine by me. Come on, Michael. You can come back to my house and I'll get you cleaned up. Michael and I left and we went back to my house.
Wow, that was a lot that just happened. So they're fighting because of some cheating relationship that Michael involved himself in. And yet he did it when they weren't dating. So they fist fought over something that happened a long time ago. It sounds like we're all hung up on things we don't need to be hung up on anymore. So let me dress your wounds, Michael. I just want to understand about the blood. Like, what happened to the blood? I want to know about the blood.
You're gonna have a black eye in the morning, you know. I cleaned up Michael's wounds as best as I could.
What Jack said isn't true. You do believe me, don't you?
Yes, I believe you. And anyway, Jack is with Hannah now, so I don't know why he's getting all upset over his ex-girlfriend.
I think she may have broken his heart. That's why he took it so badly. They had been finished for a long time when I took her out. We only went on a couple of dates. It was nothing serious. Definitely not something worth fighting over. Of course, if it was you that I'd been dating, I could understand him wanting to fight me.
I looked at Michael and blushed. Was he flirting with me? Before I had a chance to say anything, I heard a loud hammering at the front door. When I opened the door, I saw Layla standing there. She was gasping for breath. She had obviously been running. Layla? What's the matter?
The police have just been to my house. They want me to come in for questioning.
What? Why?
They said that Hannah and Jack are missing.
What? Want to know what happens next? Stay tuned to our channel for episode 2.
So now Hannah and Jack have gone missing? What's going on here? Why do I have a feeling Michael's involved even though Michael wasn't there when they went missing? It's all suspicious to me. And Layla's the only one that hasn't involved herself in the mess. What if it's Layla? Leave your theories down in the comments below. What do you think is going on? Until next time, bye!